he used to be in the phone rooms. So then he uses
Nobody
this
wants
weird...
to fucking talk to some Bronx scumbag, you know what I'm saying? So thank you for calling the admissions
Hi.
department. This is Tyler. How can I help you?
Horrible.
And then when we're in the Midwest, how you doing there, Johnny? We're going to get you the best fucking help we possibly can. Yeah. All right, come on. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Mindful Space. I'm your host, Tyler. We got your other host, Johnny.
What up?
He's here this week. You know, we didn't send him on some crazy suicide mission in some state, but no Alex this week. We got a good one for you. Johnny knows this guy really well. I don't. We've met in the past, but, you know, I'm looking forward to get to know him. But we'll introduce Eddie.
Eddie B.
Eddie B.
Man, my man.
What up?
Big Eddie.
Yeah, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Big travel. Came from Mass, right?
Boston.
Yeah, man.
Boston.
I was up there a couple weeks ago, and we had, well, I guess we were in New Hampshire, right?
Yeah, we're in
right. And this came up. I was like, he said he's going to be in town. I was like, can you come
Running.
through? He's like, yeah. He's only here for a couple days. And
Cool.
it's important, man. I love it, dude. He's like a big bro to me in this like industry.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't even known each other that long. A few years.
Yeah.
How'd you guys meet? Through the business?
Work. Yeah,
Okay,
Evoke.
cool. Yeah.
Evoke.
Oh, yeah, you worked over there for a little bit. I forget that.
Yeah, and yeah, I sat down with him at the executive meeting. We didn't even know each other then, and he had a nice watch on. I did know that. He had a nice watch on. And then we got up, and there was another coworker of ours who everyone was presenting, and Eddie did a presentation. Actually, like had his shit together on it, and then like a friend of ours had his shit absolutely not together
Came
on
out.
there. Yeah, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how I need it. You know what I mean? Because I was just getting my foothold in like actually being in. Like, you know, not a tech or, you know what I mean? A liaison and like actually doing some work. And so it's like, I've learned from him and he's like an open book, which is awesome. Big family guy with his kids.
Nice.
Like we were just talking about. And I think we're like the same exact, what are you, 43?
43.
Yeah, we're both 43, but like he's got years on. My big brothers now are not age-wise. It's like in recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's knowledge.
Yeah. And so, you know, and he, to be honest with you, and I think I've told him this, but like he's helped me take a deep breath sometime or like, you know, chill the fuck out back, because, you know, I progressed relatively fast in this industry and everything because of my veteran status and all that shit. But like Eddie grinded it out. We were just talking about it a couple months ago. He's like, it's finally time for him to fucking get what he deserves. You know, what he's earned. I shouldn't say deserve, earned, you know? And then I was like, that made me think like, yeah, bro, like I think I deserve more. I've earned more, but like I need to be very grateful for where I'm at because I did get to skip a couple tiers only, you know, because of the veteran thing.
Yeah, no, you got lucky.
So
yeah, I'm assuming you worked your way up from the bottom like I did.
All the way up.
Overnight tech, 7 o'clock at night till 7 o'clock in the morning, man.
80 hours a week. If I had to do it, I did it. Whatever it took, I did it. You know?
No, people couldn't believe like how much money my paychecks were. They're like, wait, you make this much an hour, but you get paid this much every 2 weeks. I'm like, yes. They're like, how does that work? You don't sleep. You know, you don't sleep.
The math
I was the
math
guy, bro. I think I worked, my longest stretch at the Haven was like 37 days straight or something like that. 40 days straight. They called me, bro. I always show up.
Sure.
You know, I would do everything that nobody else wanted to do. And that's why I am, you know, where I am in this company. And, you know, I almost been here like 9 years.
100%. You got to work harder than you get paid for it.
100%.
That's if you want to succeed in any area of your life, you got to work harder than you get paid for it.
Yeah, it's like they say, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want. You know, it's the same thing with work ethics, you know, like don't work for the job you have, work like you want that bigger
job interview for the next job.
Exactly.
Every job you have.
And I try to like push that on people in early recovery. Like these kids come up and you see it. I want to work in treatment. I want to work in treatment. Like, okay, like start grinding now that you don't work in treatment. You're working at Popeyes, bro. You got to work like the manager every day before you step into this space, you know, because you know how it is. It's not, you know, there's no days off.
But you also got to get yourself right first.
100%.
Because this shit, like,
you need a foundation.
You know, and again, back to like the watches and all, you see all this, like, it's kind of, for a guy new in recovery, you see what we got going on, like glitz and glamour, right? And it's like, it looks cool and everything, but it's like, bro, like, this shit is a fucking grind. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, we're not like digging ditches anymore, but like the mental toll it takes on you. And
it's
always
way
having
worse.
to, it's like dudes think they can just jump right into it. Like Jake, who we had on here, you know, my buddy who we got through Haven and everything. And I've known him for years, but he was always telling me, he's like, bro, maybe I could get in. And I was like, you got no fucking shot.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't worked on you, bro. Like, you're gonna get angry, you're gonna get stressed. Like, no, bro. And he's a hard worker, but it's a different kind of hard work.
Completely different. And that's why you see too, these kids in early recovery, they come work in treatment and they snap out on a patient, or they get high, or they end up getting high with a patient, you know? Like, we see it all too well. Like, you need tough skin, and you really need like a solid foundation to work around sick people. Yeah. I said to somebody the other day, I'm like, we're the only people that go to work and work around sick people, and we don't leave sick. You know, some of us do, but that doesn't make sense to a lot of people, you know, to like work in this building that has 50 sick people and like 5 people that aren't sick. You know,
people get it twisted. Like, this isn't your recovery. No, like, working in recovery isn't your recovery. No, when I was like 3.5 years clean, almost 4 years clean when I started working in the field, and I asked someone she had like 28 years clean at this time. She had worked in the field for like 20 years, and I said, you know, what do you think? What are your suggestions? She goes, step up your recovery. Like, if you're going to do that, you need to do even more when you're surrounded by the sickness on a daily basis. Like, you need to make sure that you can handle that, you know, because there are going to be times where like you're tested, you know, and like that old us is in all of us at the end of the day. It's there.
It's funny you say that, because a lot of these like therapists and stuff that may not be in recovery or maybe, but like, they don't have a program to fall back. And you hear about burnout in this industry. And it's like they burn out because they don't go home and go to their home group or call Tyler or fucking Eddie and like vent or be like, yo, what's up? Like, they don't have those tools in their toolbox.
Yeah, they hold on to
it. And I think, like you said, your recovery has to be stronger, I think, to maintain in this and flourish, or, you know what I mean? Not let it overtake you.
Because you get caught up, like you said, the glitz and the glamour. And when everyone says they want to like do work in this, I'm like, be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. You know what I mean? Like, you see golf courses and lunches and dinners, and like, that's not what this industry is. No. Like you said, it's a grind. Yeah. It's 24/7. You got to answer that phone,
and they'll give you the money, but you better fucking perform. Right? You know what I mean? That's the other thing too. Is like, I want to make sure. I'm like, be careful what you wish for, like you said. Yeah. You know, and I was almost a victim to that, and like, I think maybe you even said it. Other people, I was going to ask for more money than. But boy, would that have put so much stress on my fucking plate. And then things with the VA kind of went to shit, and I would have been up shit's creek without a paddle.
Overpromise and under-deliver, like it happens a lot. And then, you know, when you're getting jobs for 90 days at a time, you're on the chopping block every 90 days.
We see it all too well, right? Yeah. I mean, there's probably 10 people that work in this industry that are just 90 days, 90 days, 90 days, steal a check, steal a check, steal a check, you know? And it just happens so much because those people probably don't have that solid foundation where they don't have, you know, like good people skills and being able to like make genuine connections with people. Like, they come in and it's just quick. Everybody wants quick money, and then they figure out fast that
they talk a good game.
Yeah, exactly.
When it's time to show, it
exactly. Yeah. How well can you sell yourself? Right. You know, that's what it comes down to with them.
So one of the coolest things about you, bro, is when you post with your kids, right? Like it like, again, even before I knew you. Like that, I should say anyone in recovery, when I see them post to their kids, I fucking smile. You know what I mean? And it's why I post a lot of stuff with my daughter. And it's like, sometimes other parts of the life, like, we make them seem a little bit, but dude, that is the one part with my kids that is always exactly what you see, like, so proud, so happy. And I think it's why it's so important. Were you sober for both your kids, or clean for both your kids?
I spent my daughter's first birthday in detox.
Okay.
I woke up on my daughter's first birthday in detox. So that was tough.
So you were using when she was born?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. And you would think, you know, there was this part of my life where, like, towards the end of my use, and when it was like, you know, obviously really, really bad, I had a lot of things going on. And you know, growing up around the disease, like, I kind of had an understanding of like where it goes, right? Yeah. I know what the end result is at the end of the day. And when I found out that my daughter's mother was pregnant, I'm like, all right, like, I got 9 months to get my life together.
Right.
9 months, right? Yep. And I had been to meetings previously for all the wrong reasons, to get the key tags, to get the slip signed, like, to get back in the big bed, like, no intentions of staying clean, right? I had zero clean time ever, outside of like jail and a couple spin dries and detox, you know? But then, like, them 9 months
go by. Spin dries?
Spin dries.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. That's a mass thing. We call them oil changes down here.
Changes down here. All right. I'll take that. And I'll put that up in mass.
I call them speed dating.
No,
I just made that up, but it's kind of
a good one, though.
I got 7 days to leave with something.
That's it, bro. That's it. You own that, bro. Trademark.
Yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
So. Yeah, no, it was, you know, the 9 months, man. It was like I knew where the solution was. You know, I knew where the solution was. The seed was planted.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see the seed, you know, and then 9 months flew by, you know, and she was like, I'm in labor. You know, I remember being in the hospital where my daughter was being born and just like physically present.
Yeah.
Mentally, how am I getting the next one? When can I get out of here to go get high? That's all that matters.
That's when I share that shit. Dude, you literally took the words out of my mouth probably a couple weeks ago. And I used to have so much shame and guilt around that because someone told me when you have a daughter, it's going to change your life. Kid Vinny Santos told me this. I'll never forget it. And when my daughter was born, I had the same thing. It's like, I'm starting to feel dope sick. I got to get out of here. Like, this is uncomfortable.
Well, and I was physically there, right?
I wanted to leave the hospital. Yeah, and I did. I made an excuse later on that I had to go take the dog out. Yeah. And the dog was with the neighbor. I didn't, you know, but I had to go get another pill, bro. Yeah. But that's so important, man, because people, you know how many guys are probably suffering, and that shame is like one of the big reasons eating them up, you know, because they don't think that's normal to me. Like, you know what I would say? Why wouldn't you feel like that? You know?
Well, that's how powerful the disease is. Like, it says when I can do things, like when it lets me do it.
Right.
I had no control over it.
Yep.
Completely powerless, and no defense against it.
Right.
Zero. No tools, no foundation, no nothing. Like, hey, get high. Like, and I remember, like, I got the call that she was going into labor. I worked 2 jobs. I bounced in Boston for like 10 years, and I got the call like 1:30 in the morning while I was working the bouncing job, and she's like, I'm going into labor. And my idea was like, I was scared, and like I wasn't scared because I was about to be a dad. It's 1:30 in the morning. My dude ain't on at 1:30 in the morning.
Right, yeah.
I'll be sick real soon. Right. Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
you know?
what am I going to do?
What am I going to do? And wait, 10:30. I say 10:30 was the magic time on the weekends when someone would answer that call.
Sure.
10:30 hit while I was in the hospital. I picked up that phone and they answered. I said, I got to go shower. And I left. You know, made it back to be physically present for her.
Right.
You know, barely. You know.
Oh, so you left during labor?
Oh, I
you
left
didn't
while
wait
she
for the
was,
baby.
No, she was like in labor, and I was
Yeah.
like, I need to go shower.
I'll be right back.
I'm out. See you later. I'll be right back.
She's
you
like,
know?
shower? What do you mean
Yeah,
shower? Having a baby.
She's having a
Shower
baby.
later.
They're like, it's not, you know.
She's like, there's a
shit
shower
everywhere.
right there. You know, there's a
Right?
shower in the bathroom right there.
And I
She knew what was going on.
we manipulate. We can manipulate any situation too when we want to.
When my wife, I had the same thought, you know, and I was in the Marine Corps, I was hiding it from everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I would do blues, whatever, and I would do Suboxone if I thought I was going to get a piss test because they didn't test for that yet, you know. But anyway, playing that whole game, but I always said, like, 9 months to get my shit together. I got to get my shit together. And so I started having these lines in the sand, right? Like, oh, when I see the first sonogram or whatever, I'll stop. You know what I mean? And oh, when the, you know, whatever the case may be, and I kept fucking, you know, of course.
Just for tomorrow.
Just
for tomorrow.
Yeah, just I'm going to do a half or, you know, whatever the case is. And then she had some like issues with her pregnancy where she was like almost like kind of bedridden or whatever they say, you know, bed rest. She put on bed rest. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I can't stop now because I got to be here to, you know, support her, and I can't be feeling like shit and da da da.
She's feeling.
I just kept. It was like, and I didn't understand the disease either. I got 2 addict brothers, as I've talked about numerous times, but I just thought they were fucked up. I wasn't as fucked up as them. Yep. But man, I didn't understand. Like, I thought I could. Every time you say you're gonna stop, you could pass a lie detector.
100%.
I'm gonna pass. I will stop. Yeah. You know.
When I said I'm sorry, I'd never do it again. Like, I promise it'll be different this time. I meant it every single time. Yep. Completely incapable of following through with action. There was nothing there.
Yeah. It's like my Friday rule. You know, every Friday I would like buy whatever I can. It's just all right, listen, it's my last day. So I would double up on the blues or the dope, whatever I was doing. If I was doing 10, I'd get 20, you know? And then Saturday morning came, 5:30. I looked at the phone, like, we're doing this. 6:30 came, I knew he would answer. Hey, buddy, where you at? You know, and I just couldn't fucking do it, bro. But every single Thursday, I knew Friday I was stopping, and Saturday came, and I was fucking high, bro. And that went on for years, you know? And like you said, lie detector test right now, I will pass it. Like, I want it to stop. But the disease is just so fucking strong, man. You know?
So strong. And I didn't realize it either. You don't realize how strong it is until you stop and have a little bit of time away from it, you know? And you can look back.
That's the only way.
Like, it made me do some shit. You know,
I still think about how I'm still realizing how strong it is because now I finally got years, and I still have these like thoughts, not of using, but just like, whoa, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Or the sickness is still there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would find myself when I was in Austin, Texas, and I had time, and I would see these homeless people. There was tons of homeless people in camps and stuff. And I remember my mind would tell me, like, man, remember those days? Like, they got no worries in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And
pull in.
I'm like, what, you dumb motherfucker. No worries in the world. They got every worry. Like, they got to wake up and figure out how they're going to get through the day, bro.
Yeah.
I haven't
that was
had
their
to worry.
only worry.
That's only worry. Yeah.
That's it.
No, there's nothing else on your mind, man.
Yeah.
No.
So then when you went, so she was, her birthday was a year. Did that just happen to come on the same time? Or was that like, did you finally say, I got to go?
I had enough. I mean, for me, I mean, I can only really speak for myself. Like, I truly felt like when I went and got clean, I was done.
Yeah.
I was just so broken. I mean, I was homeless for the first time. Like, you know, I disqualified myself for quite some time, like coming in and out of meetings, thinking that like I wasn't that bad, right? Like life wasn't as bad as what I was hearing people share about. Like, you know, I had a lot of yets up until that point.
You weren't on Mass Ave, right?
Right.
I would assume, right?
Yeah, I was a functional addict for a long time. You know, I had 2 jobs. I had, you know, for a while, I had places to sleep. I had cars. I had stuff like that. So on the outside, you would be like, this kid's got his shit together. You know what I mean? Like, it looks good on the outside, like internally broken. You know, completely broken. Like, no goals, no dreams, no aspirations, like nothing that, like surface level bullshit. Everything was surface level. Friendships, relationships, jobs, settling for just being okay. And when I walked in, I remember I went to the same detox every time, and I'll never forget this man's name. His name was Jim, and he looked like the Marlboro Man. And he did my intake every time I went. And every time I would go, I'd be like, detox, and I'm only here for detox. I got to get back to X, Y, and Z, which I really had nothing to get back to.
Right.
And he asked me, he's like, let me guess, same old song and dance. And for the first time, I was like,
nope.
Nah. Like, whatever you guys want to do with me, like, just full send. You know, I was 137 pounds soaking wet.
Holy
I hadn't
shit.
showered in probably 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hadn't eaten like a real meal in probably the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then I get in there, you know, you brush your teeth, you watch the sink fill up with blood because you're living like an animal. And 3 days later, I'm complaining about the food.
Sure. Yeah.
Real ungrateful. You know what?
Yeah.
Imagine,
right? Imagine.
Warm bed, roof over my head, clothes in my back, food in my stomach, and I stop bitching.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Insane.
You know, and there was a clinician, her name was Michelle. And I had a picture of my daughter up. You know, my drug dealer dropped me off at the train station.
Yeah.
To go get help. My drug dealer was like, you need to go get help.
It's enough.
And I was like, so they let me print up a bunch of pictures of my daughter at their house before they took me to the train station. And so I had pictures of my daughter up, and it was her birthday. And I was in there, I was crying. You know what I mean? At first, like real tears.
Yeah, right.
Real tears. Not I got caught, like, you know, I got caught stealing the ATM card, like the gig's up. It wasn't those tears. It was like real tears of sadness for the first time. And she pulled me in, and she's like, if you stay here and you miss this one birthday, you never have to miss another one again. Once. Just sacrifice this one. And if you put in some work, you'll never have to miss another one. And I've never missed another one.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Never missed another one.
That's such a great message. Beautiful. And that's what I like to tell. Like when I'll sit down next to these guys and I'll be like, you think you're a shitty father? Okay, well, what's the best thing you can do to be a dad today? Because we can't talk about yesterday. We can't do that. But like, you know, we know that. Like that's gone. Like for today, and that doesn't have to be a father, a mom, a fucking son,
a brother, a sister,
whatever, bro. If whoever it is that you really feel like you just fucked up, you know what I mean, or who you hurt the most, like, well, what's the best you can be today? And I'm like, it's sitting in this chair.
Like that.
As crazy as that sounds, you're in rehab, you know, you're in detox, you're at a meeting. There is nowhere that you can be better. And that's all you can do for right now. You know what I mean? And someone told me that too. And because I spent my daughter's second birthday in a rehab. Daryl Strawberries, remember the baseball player? In his rehab up in Orlando. And I can remember sitting there, and it's like they had one phone, like a landline that you could use in the middle on the weekends. And I remember being on that phone. It was like you have to sit there just so they can see where you're at. And looking out the window, and my wife was up in New York, and they had a birthday party for her in New York. And just thinking, but see, I didn't have that. I was like, my thought was, I'm never going to see her again. Never. There's no shot. You know?
This is after you separated yourself, right?
Yeah, this is after I separated myself. I said, I got no shot at this. You know, I had just been unfaithful to my wife. She's done. She's gone. You know, I had just done this, and this. It's over. And I was starting to understand the disease enough that my sick disease told me, yeah, you're that one that's never coming back.
Yeah, you're fucked.
you're fucked.
You're uniquely fucked up.
Yeah.
You know?
But see, I hadn't had someone tell me, right? That's why. And then I started getting with men and people would start telling me, or I'd start listening, or the seeds were being planted, and I'd actually hear the message of a guy like you saying the same exact thing that I was going through. Yeah. And it resonated. It started to click.
You know? Well, that's how this works, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It was like when it clicks, right? It's like I heard a lot of the same stuff for years.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't ready to hear the message. Like it just wasn't my time. And I believe that. I believe that my path was my path. I had to go through my pain and do whatever that I had to do to get where I needed to be. Yeah. All that pain that I felt was for a greater purpose. You know, it molded me into appreciating the time that I did have with her. And I didn't get it twisted either. Like my daughter was my motivation. Right? It had to be about me at some point, right? Like she was the catalyst. I hadn't seen her in months. I wasn't allowed to. So even if I left that detox to go find her for her birthday, I wasn't allowed to see her anyway. Yeah. But my disease was like, go find her. You know what I mean? And
they'll let you see her.
You look better. You know what I mean? You've been here for like 12 days.
Really, they're like,
ever been here.
Really, they're like,
you're clean right now.
Really, someone sees you out the window. They're like, Eddie's coming, Johnny's coming. Like, get on the horn. Like, and then the loud anther or whatever is like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here.
When they all start jumping the fence
too. It's like as soon as they call the cops when I show up, I'm gone. You know what I mean? It's like so.
See, man, that's why, dude. It's crazy, bro. My story is exactly the same like that, bro. It's identical.
And then I had this like misconception of like when I got her back in my life that I was gonna feel whole.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the when eyes. Like I suffered from like a serious case of the when eyes. Like when I got her back in my life, I thought that was it. My therapist in treatment was like, I remember being like, I'm going to graduate to halfway house before I try and go get visitation with my daughter. She's like, the fuck you are? You're calling your job right now and you're telling them you're missing tomorrow because you're going to go down to the courthouse and you're going to file for fucking visitation. And I was like, nah. She's like, yes, the fuck you are. You're on restriction for the rest of your time here.
Get out of here.
I was like, God damn. I was like, okay. So I called and I went and pushed because when I get my daughter back in my life, I'm going to feel whole. And that wasn't the case. Sure. It did it just like anything else, right? Like, you know, in the readings, we had to have something different. We thought we found it in the use of drugs. Cross out drugs, and you put anything in that blank space, and that's supposed to fulfill me, right? That's supposed to fill that fucking hole. And it didn't. You know, I got her back in my life, and I learned this, you know, this was another, like, really, like, humbling experience for me was, like, not loving myself and realizing, like, how much I hated myself for everything that I did, and realizing I couldn't love that little girl because of that.
Sure.
Right? So it's like I had her back in my life and physically present and enjoying all these moments with her, but not truly enjoying it because like I was still so mad. And I did work in the beginning. I didn't like get out of treatment and not do anything. Right. I went to meetings, I got a sponsor, like I did all the groundwork that everyone suggested that I never would do the first time, you know? I did everything the complete opposite of failure the first couple times. And I just was like, dude, I just don't truly like I don't know why I don't feel this love to this little girl who just wants her dad, you know? So I was like, I need to do more work, you know, in order to really fucking love this little girl the way she deserved to be loved. And that was humbling, dude. It was like, I couldn't love this little girl who didn't know anything other than unconditional love. That's all kids know is unconditional love. Yeah. You know, and I couldn't give that to her because I was still fucking broken.
Yeah.
Still broken.
I get it, bro.
Yeah, it's like they say you can't love anybody until you love yourself. Right? That's like the most real thing ever. No matter how hard you try. Right. It just don't work. No. You know? Yep. How long you been clean?
Just celebrated 12 years.
Get out of here. Fucking dope, man. Yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah. I had the same experience. I couldn't do the when I get my daughter back either, or my wife. I had to, the only reason I got my daughter back, I believe, and the only reason, and then, you know, a couple years later, now my wife, which literally that was, and I always share this, no intention of getting her back. Like that ship had sailed. Like I knew, and she was a good mom. She always wanted me to be involved with my daughter. So I knew there was a way to get my kid back. Yeah. But I didn't get to put a timetable on it. You know, Steve Kennedy says this thing, and he says make a plan, don't plan the result. And the plan was just do the next right thing. You know what I'm saying? Just do the next right thing. Keep work the program. Do what I needed to do. Do the next right thing, and but not with the intentions. Because when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to start manipulating to get my kid back, manipulating to get my wife back. I'm going to start doing all these things and not let it happen. You know, And so, but I had to absolutely give up those two things and just say whatever happens is going to happen.
The actions had to do the talking for the first time. You know, and it's so similar with my experience with my kid's mother. Because she hated me, and I tortured her. I tortured her life for years. You know, I stole a lot of money from her, and I did a lot of bad things. And wouldn't let me see my daughter when I first got clean. Had a fight in and out of court for a year. I was like almost a year clean when I was just about a year clean when I was allowed to see my daughter.
Yeah.
And that whole like God's will, right? Not my will. So like go to court, get visitation because she didn't show up for court. So like I show up every Sunday and her slamming the door in my face with a visitation, right? Now you still can't see her. Right? Wow. So like now in my head, I'm like, all right, like what do I do? So like instead of old Eddie, you know, flipping out and just acting out, like I just did.
Catching a trespassing charge for kicking the door.
I asked, like, what do I do? I don't like asking for help too, right? It's like, what do I do? Asking guys that have been through similar situations, like, how do I get through this the right way? Like, what's the right way to do this? Like, go to the police station, file a report for X amount of weeks, then go back to the court and you have to file a contempt charge. And like that, I had to do that to my kid's mother who, in all reality, never did anything wrong.
Right.
Like she put clothes on my daughter's back, food in her stomach, and a roof over her head when I was incapable of doing that, you know?
She was probably trying to protect, as misguided as it may have been or whatever. Yeah.
And like the old Eddie, like this is when you know recovery's working in your life. Even when you don't want it to half the time. It was like we went to court and I remember sitting across. She had a lawyer. I didn't have a lawyer. We're sitting across at the table and
of course, right? That's how
they
always get a lawyer.
I couldn't afford a lawyer. No, no money. I was in a halfway house, bro. EBT card, bro.
Where do I sign?
You gotta take even afford the court appointed, right?
Yeah. So you know, they're like, you know, I'm looking across the table at her and I could see like the pain in her face and like. Me, when I walked in the doors, I'm like, fuck that. I got fucking unsupervised visitation every Sunday. That's what I'm leaving here with, nothing less. And I could see the pain in her face. And like the fear. Like, I don't know if this Eddie is any different than the Eddie that I saw a year ago. I said, whatever you need me to do to make you feel better about this situation, I'm willing to do it.
It's wild, right?
And she was like, I just want to see you with her for 8 weeks. So 8 weeks of supervised visitation. I said, sure, no problem. 2 weeks into it, she's like, I don't know. Basically was like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you're not the same guy that I remember. You can have her whenever you want. It was that simple.
Right.
It was that simple. That was like
chills, bro.
Recovery working in my life. You know what I mean? It's like, I didn't drive the bus. I'm a terrible bus driver. I know that. You know what I mean? I'm a horrible bus driver, man. And that was a really freeing experience. It was like, all right, like I don't have to call the shots. Yeah. I don't have to dictate what's going on. Let me just trust the process. You hear that? Trust the process. Having faith. Faith is such a big part of my recovery. There's a quote that like I live by, and it talks about like faith is trusting in advance what will someday make sense in reverse. Like, I didn't need to know why. I needed to just say, hey, whatever you need me to do, I got it. It worked out. We got back together. Right. We got back together like 3 months later.
Yeah.
Which was crazy. Yeah. You know, it was crazy. We ended up splitting up amicably. We just kind of were just different people, and we understood that. And it was we're like best friends now. Whatever she needs, like we have a great relationship. And this is how I tortured her and her family for so long, you know. But that's, you know, it's recovery working in my life.
Yeah. That's us. That's how it is with me. Her family, I never thought would give me another chance, you know? And we are we're the same too. It's like, we're best friends now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we just made a decision. And I love it. I say this and people are like, ooh, careful, you know? Like, we don't need each other, bro. Right. And that makes it better, bro. Like, and I tell them, like, if she were to come to me today and say she want to be with me, like, not because I don't love you, because I do love you. Like, okay, like, yo, we got one life to live. Yeah. I'm gonna live this fucking life. You want to live it with me? Let's do this. Yeah. If it's better for you, like, we've proven we're gonna raise our kid. Yeah. You know. And I had the same thing when I knew recovery was working, and it was more because she had a boyfriend. Yeah. And when I went over there, when I moved up there, and I didn't, you know, I shook his hand. You know, my sponsor, right? Thank God for sponsorship. Said, is he good to your kid? Is this guy being good to your kid? I'm like, actually, and it was right at COVID started, 19, 20, 20. I'm like, actually, he's really good. And I don't even, because I was traveling already for work. Yeah. And he's like, well, then what's your problem? I'm like, dude, you're so right. Like, you know what I mean? That's old, you said old Eddie. That's old Jael.
Yeah, you get checked real quick. Yeah.
And I gave him a firm handshake. You know what I mean? And then I always share this. And if he ever hear, I mean this in a nice way, Michael, you know, I won, but no, it's like, you know, he was like kind of like, he wasn't me, you know, it was exactly what my wife needed, man. Like, you know, he was like kind of a little quieter, like, I don't want to say nerdy, but you know what I mean? Like, but it was perfect. It was safe. It was a nice, safe play for her, bro. And he was a good guy, dude. And I owe it to him, man. Yeah. I owe it to him. Yeah. But boy, that's not me. Right. Not me, bro.
No. The old ripping him down 3 flights of stairs by his ears and beating the shit out of him. Like, that's what's going to happen.
In front of your kid.
Yeah, with no fucks given at all. No. But my old sponsor said something, and it's always resonated with me. And like, if you do something in spite, because of spite, like, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Sure.
right? Like if everything makes sense, it makes sense. Why try and change the formula?
Right.
Why try and fix it? Because that's all. It's all ego. It's all ego at the end of the day. So
it's true.
Grateful, man. Grateful for those people that are able to put that shit into perspective.
So what happened then? So let's put it like this. I'll share my story. You can involve this too. What we all say we did something different, right? Like when we finally got it, like we took the suggestions and everything. I never wanted to stay in sober living for any amount of time. You know, and that was one thing. And the one thing I said I would never do, I would never work for a moving company because I fucking hate my fingers getting pinched. You can punch me in the face, don't pinch me. You know what I mean? Literally. And I won't work for a moving company, you know? And I did, no one would give me money. I got a sober house where the guy gave me 2 weeks. And the only job I could get was moving. So I did both of those. And I stayed in sober living for 9 months, which is I would never do. Never. And I found that one of the best years of my life was with these guys.
Yeah.
You know? You know why? Because I was with the leader. I became the leader of that house, and I would bring. You know, we would go to the gym, and it was like I started to feel some sort of sense of pride in everything. Yeah. You know, but what's something that you did or you did that?
Yeah, so I mean, you know, it was the community thing for me. Like every time I tried to get sober, I'd sit in the back of the room. I didn't want to be friends with none of these dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like I got my friends back home. They'll die for me. You won't. You know, like, and you grew up very similar to how I grew up. I already know from your accent and where you probably played hockey. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I know that, you know, where we come from is very similar on how we grow up and the kids we grow up with. And, you know, it's kind of like a family kind of, you know, ordeal that you build in the streets. So I was always stuck on that, you know, and it wouldn't allow me to build these relationships with people in the rooms. Yeah. I would go to treatment and everybody would leave treatment and be friends, see pictures of them hanging out and shit. Here I am in my halfway house, but I ain't hanging out with none of those kids. Yeah. But all the cool kids from treatment were all hanging out together, you know? So when I went out to Arizona, I made a decision, like, I'm going to do everything they tell me to do. Yeah. And the first thing was, like, start becoming friends with people. Yeah. You know, start talking to people that you normally wouldn't talk to. And now I fucking ended up with a bunch of hippies in Arizona. You know, here I am from the Bronx. And still to this day, bro, I'm like half a hippie because of them. They taught me like how to be free, you know, just like nothing, no titles, no labels, no nothing. Community was so important. And the halfway house thing, man, I spent 12 months in a halfway house in Florida. I swore up, down, left, right, and sideways. I was coming here 3 months. Get a little money together, apartment. I was done. And my sponsor was like, no, you're going to live there for a year or you're going to die. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to stay alive, man, you know? But it was those tiny little things. It was nothing big, right? You know? It was nothing huge. It was just these tiny little things. Like, hey, tweak this. Okay. Tweak this. Okay. You're gone, you know? And I couldn't understand it either. And somebody put it to me like tuning a car, right? Like you could put intake, right? Exhaust manifold. We could do all these things, turbo. But if you don't tune the car, it's not going to run the way it's supposed to. So I am grabbing all these fucking tools and trying to put them on myself to save my life. And all I needed was that little tune, you know, my sponsor to just say, hey, listen, like this, boom, now the car goes, you know, and he broke it down to me like that because I'm a mechanic, you know? And I was like, holy shit, you're right. And he was like, all right, now you're going to do everything I tell you to do and you'll be fine. And I was. Amazing, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah, just those tiny little things, man.
Yeah, it's wild how it works like that. It's very similar for both of you guys. For me, it was, I mean, I didn't really have anywhere to go. So being told, like, you had to go here and this is where you go. And I was like, sure, like, you just tell me to get there and I'll get there. But, you know, I mean, I was fortunate where the guy I was working for doing construction, I called him, like, I don't know, like 18 days into treatment. And he was like, where the fuck did you go? Yeah. Like, I had to get my life together, buddy. You know, he was like, all right, when are you done? I said, well, I'm going to go to this thing called the halfway house. I'm a couple months out. Call me when you're ready. Right. So I had a job waiting for me. So I knew I had that there. So I could kind of, that was like it's great because I could really focus on myself. Knowing that, like, I didn't have a lot of stresses outside of that. Yeah. So I think for me, the biggest thing was the surrender and the self-acceptance was the biggest thing. Cause like I played the victim card better than fucking just about anybody I met, right? It was everybody else's fault. So I think that, like, that self-acceptance when I got clean was huge for me, where it wasn't anybody's. Like, I was the common denominator in every one of my problems, right? Nobody else's fault for where I was at was me. And once I accepted that, then I was able to be around the guys I needed to be around, right? Because I wasn't going to be around the negative Nancys. I was going to be around, like, all these positive dudes that were doing things with their life because that's what I needed around me. And I gravitated towards guys with time. Yeah. Like, the guys I was hanging out with outside of, like, you know, a couple guys that I got really close with in the house were 2, 3, 4 years clean, you know. And I remember the first meeting I ever went to was the Thursday night meeting in Everett, Mass. I walked in there. It used to be like a 120 person standing room only meeting.
Wow.
And I walked in, there was a big guy celebrating. He was celebrating 5 years clean. And I was like, damn. And like my boy, who just passed away a few months ago, he saw me. I grew up with him, and he's like, dude, I've been waiting for you to walk into these rooms. You know what I mean? Like, gave me this big hug, and I was like, why are you touching me, bro? You know what I mean? Like, don't touch me. And, you know, and he's like, I've been waiting for you, bro. You know, like, this is where you belong. And when I came back, like 3 years later after that, the same people were sitting in the same seats, smiling, laughing, having a good time. I'm like, dude, something about this has to work.
Right.
Right. I want to see what they're doing. Like, are they bullshit? I'm like, so let me like sit back and watch. And like, they were really about bettering their lives. They were like good boyfriends, good fathers, like getting their lives together, had, you know, good jobs, like all the things that I wanted, that I needed. So I gravitated to it. I think that was surrounding myself with like solid people. That was the most important thing for me, I think, in that. You know, I did a shitload of treatment. I had 6 months in a halfway house, 3 months in a three-quarter house, 9 months in the sober house. I had like 18 months almost of like some kind of structured treatment, you know?
Yeah.
Being piss tested 2-3 times a week. I needed the accountability.
100%,
I needed
man.
it, you know?
That's the thing I didn't really get. And that's why it always like what comes first, like the chicken or the egg, right? The willingness. Is it the willingness that I finally got clean, or is it the work? And it's like, will they come together? You know what I mean? Like you said, it was the small things. It's like, and I'm like thinking, like, would those small things have worked if I wasn't ready? And it's like, but of course I wasn't ready. So the small things, I wasn't willing to do the small things. You know what I mean? So it's like, you never know what it is. It's like, again, it's just, it happens when it happens. I don't know if I had a point to that, but
probably did. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
No, it just gets you thinking, you know?
It's nice when you feel like the light turns on.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that light bulb finally went above my head. You know what I mean? It's like, only took me fucking 31 years of, 17 years of active addiction for the light bulb to be like, buddy, it's time. You know, now's the time to do it. You know?
It's wild too, though, because once it does turn on and once you start to put the work in, the way shit changes is fucking insane. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Like, you're a heroin addict.
Yeah.
IV heroin addict with a $500 a day habit and no job. You got sober, right? 30 days. And now you're talking to this guy who you don't know. You're listening to him, and all of a sudden, your life starts to fucking take off like a rocket, and you're watching these kids that went to college and high school working these fucking bullshit jobs and doing all this bullshit, and here you are, were a heroin addict 60 days ago, and now you're fucking, taking off like a rocket because you decided to listen to somebody, It blows my mind. I still can't comprehend it, It's very hard to comprehend how quick that happens as soon as you're like, you know what, bro, I give up. Tell me what the fuck to do, That's it. Drop the fucking mic, and there you go.
As long as you keep moving forward, you're gonna get the job, you're gonna get the car, you're gonna get the apartment, you'll get the girl, boyfriend, whatever it is. That stuff will fall in your lap.
Yeah.
But making sure you learn to appreciate that stuff it was something that I think that a lot of people get fucked up. It's like we get stuck in the monetary shit.
100%. Me and Johnny were literally just talking about that recently, bro. Yeah. I'm not buying designer shit no more, bro. $12.99 Amazon.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing it, bro. When you're talking to somebody, 100 pairs of Jordans. Right. I got loafers from every major, 2-3 pairs, Rolex. You know what I'm saying? Like, I buy Chrome Hearts hats, bro. $450 fucking hats. Right. Stupid, But you like,
damn, bro.
And we were talking about it. Like, I chased.
What's your address?
This one thing for so long, bro. I don't know, dude, but it knocks both ways. That's all I'm telling you, bro. The knock comes both ways, bro. But yeah, man. Once I gave that up too, and I gave that up, bro. Fucking 7 years sober, 8 years sober. You know what I'm saying? And like the weight that was lifted off of me, like I've been chasing this thing, bro. And then you get to the other side of the rainbow, and the gold bucket that's sitting there wasn't even what you fucking wanted, bro. And you have to learn these things as you stay sober too. A lot of kids chase that shit. You don't appreciate it, and you get high. Yeah. I was lucky enough to just keep it up and then take a step back and be like, this isn't what I wanted. Like, okay, cool. Now I got all this cool, expensive shit in my house. Yeah. Like, what does that do? It's like when I had a BMW, man. I got into a car accident, and me and my wife were like, fuck that. We ain't getting a BMW. Right. Fuck, pull off with an Acura, It's nice, bro. It costs 30, not 60. Right. Like, you don't need all this extra shit because it's just, it's filling that hole 100%. Like you talked about, and then you stop doing the work and you just continue to fill this hole until, we all know what happens.
I like nice shit. Don't get me wrong. I like that. And I didn't I think having the right guys around you consistently, like all through your recovery, I don't know about you guys, but I know for me, like my circle's changed a lot over the years, right? It's like I have a couple true few that are still there from the beginning, but for the most part, my circle's changed a lot, right? And new levels, new devils. Like as you continue to level up, like you know, your disease is going to find ways to come at you. It's going to find different ways to attack you and figure out like where's his soft spot and whether I'm getting high. It's the drugs are the last symptom. It's the behaviors, the shopping, the gambling, the women, all that stuff is like that's where I need to be very, very mindful and have the right people around. Be like, dude, you're not acting right, right? Whether it's something I want to do, like why you acting that way?
Yeah,
I had a dude in the halfway house, Dennis, man. I'll never give him a shout out to Dennis. He told me I was gambling in the halfway house, which you weren't supposed to do, and he said he's like, hey, you need to investigate that. And that word investigate has resonated with me for 12 years.
That's good. I like that.
You know, like well, you need to, why are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Why you need to go seek outside of yourself to make you feel better for 15 seconds while you scratch that ticket.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What are you trying to get away from? I was like, damn, man, you know. And I mean, I'm a kid. I didn't have nothing. I had nothing. So like when I got some money, I wanted some shit. You know what I mean? Like I justified it, but I look at my closet. I was just saying it to our friend Pete.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm about to put all my sneakers on Poshmark. Like I'm just about to get rid of them.
I've been doing it.
Like I'm like, I don't wear 98% of them. And I wear white Vans everywhere I go. Like, everywhere I go, bro.
That's funny. I switched to the Vans too.
Yeah, all day, dude. I have 13 pairs. They get dirty. I get a new pair for $50.
Roll them out. Yeah.
What so I would talk. How do we talk about like where you're at now? What do you want to talk about where you're at now? Because I think, again, as I said, like you waited patiently, right? You got frustrated though. Like we've talked about it. We got involved in places where we were not happy, and it was like, but like you were the one who's like, yo, stay the course, you know, like just keep going. And so I don't know how you want to take that, but like talk about that little bit of like your faith, I guess, in the journey, dude.
I guess for me, it was like, you know, I always had a vision of like what the end game was going to be for me eventually, right? Like, and I don't even say it's the end game. Like, there was my end game at that moment, right? I don't know what my end game looks like right now, right? But my end game at that moment was like starting the process of what I'm trying to do today, right? And I don't know. I guess it was laying back and doing it right? It's like doing it, and I wanted to learn. Like I like to learn. I'm a sponge, so like I didn't never want to jump into things without having the information that I need to do it. So I think, you know, 8 years in the field to get, you know, where I'm at now is just an understanding of like, I learned a lot. You know, I learned a lot. I did TAC, admissions, case, you know, you name it. So, yeah, I don't know if necessarily it's like it's frustration, like, but I think it's more wanting more for myself for the first time, like thinking that I deserve it. You know what I mean? Because I think for the longest time, I was like, I didn't think I deserved to be at a certain point. You know, like I'll just go work for someone for the rest of my life. And I'll be okay with that. Like, I think I finally decided, like, no, fuck that. Like, I want more. And not just me, like, the kids. You know what I mean? Like, I want to help build things so, like, my kids can live a life that, like, I didn't have.
I'm sure you're, and you'll be there one day. Bro, I realize now, like, give me a studio apartment. Yeah, I want it near the beach. You know what I mean? And a nice, I do want a nice studio. But give me a studio apartment, and I'd be fucking golden. Yeah. But, like, my wife and kid, especially what they've been through, you know, even like my kid who doesn't know what she's been through, really, you know what I mean? She doesn't really know how it was. But like, I want them to have more and more and more. And so I've struggled with like, is that okay? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, or am I kind of just using them
as an excuse
to like
get your own shit,
to get my own shit, you know, and without even knowing, obviously, you know, but like I need to chill out with that too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we're the only person that can figure out if that's the truth or not is us, right? Like, I mean, the truth has to lie within us first before it lies with anything else,
right?
So it's, I mean, it's motives. I mean, it's like checking the motives for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get lost in that too. Yeah. I definitely get lost in that too. But like, I overcompensate too. You know what I mean? I overcompensated for a long time with the kids because I wasn't there for my daughter, and I only get her, you know, every other weekend and stuff like that. So like when I have them, I'm like, let me go spend all this money that like. They don't care really what we're doing. They just want time with dad.
They have no idea.
Like, so that's more about me than it is about them.
Right.
And like, I needed some people to be like, dude, chill out.
Yeah.
We'll take them down the park. They'll have just as good of a time running around the park than they would go and spend $150 at a trampoline park.
It's true.
You know?
And when you go to the park, go down the slide with them. Don't be on your phone. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like, that's the piece, right?
Well, that was it too. That, you know, that's a lot, is that work-life balance, especially, you know, being in this field. Like I caught myself, I felt like I lost a lot of time with my youngest, you know, my son, you know, where, you know, always being on the phone, hold on, I gotta take this call. Hey guys, I gotta go in my room, make this call.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta draw boundaries. At the end of the day, what's important? You know?
What are we doing it for anyway?
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Do it for that.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I say that. I mean, that's what I hate about like I do hate it, you know, is that I don't mind the time I have to be on the phone or talking to somebody. I actually enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's having to always have it here because that creates the constant scrolling.
Yeah.
And then that's when I find myself, then I'm not present with my daughter and I'm not even really fucking working.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just got caught up in a fucking meme or something. You know what I mean? But I'm like,
hole.
I get it. You know, that fucking TikTok. I'm looking at like.
I deleted it.
Yeah.
Did you? I deleted it.
Good for you.
I deleted it. I couldn't do it no more.
I'm like watching Young Thug trials. Like, hold on, baby. You know what I mean?
TikTok
like,
for like a year.
Johnny was
re-downloaded it for like 2.5 weeks. I'm like, fuck this. That's why I remember I didn't have this shit.
Yeah. When Young Thug's trial was going on, Johnny thought he was a lawyer, bro. I swear to God, I knew everything about it, bro, from TikTok.
I wanted to go to where they're from and meet Woody,
trying to go
bro.
live,
I was like,
bro.
I gotta meet this guy, dude. The one guy that took a plea deal. I'm like, this guy is awesome.
Johnny's in the back of the courtroom.
Yeah.
Not guilty.
Like doing the slime thing, you know?
But I think John, I think it's like getting to a point where, and look, I always want to be able to be a phone call for people to help, but I think like for me, it's getting to a point where you put the, like, helping the right people get in place to be that phone call too. Right? It's just like anything. It's like getting the next generation of people. But like, I'm fucking 43, dude. Like, them 3 o'clock in the morning phone calls are tough now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep me up till 5 in the morning, dude. I'm junk.
Yeah.
I need some sleep, bro.
Right,
you
right,
know?
right.
I'm not spring chicken anymore. So it's like having like that next generation of doing like the right thing and coming behind us and like and taking that baton.
It's true,
you know, and taking a step back from it and still being there and being able to help people. But there's a lot of different ways to help people outside of just being a phone call all the time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I'll always answer my phone. It don't matter. But I thought the goal is to get to a point where I don't have to answer the phone at 3 in the morning anymore. You know, for the kids and for everything. I want to go on vacation and enjoy it with the kids.
Yeah.
You know.
That's like a big thing for me, though, was the vacation thing, too, with work, bro.
Dude.
Me and Jess been together 8 years. Don't quote me on this. It's around there, 7 or 8.
You're fine.
I don't got time to check my notes in my phone.
Edit
that out. Thank you. So we were talking about it. We never been on a real vacation because of work.
Just to decompress.
Bro, we go to the Keys for 2-3 days. We go up north for a funeral, like, you know, like Christmas, 3-4 days. Like, and then I'm back. You know, we never took like a week vacation, like went out the country where I could turn this thing off because I'm so scared not to answer it because there's a number on the board. Right. You know? Yeah.
Yep. I did. I think I went to Puerto Rico in July, and I think that was the first. I still worked a little bit, but it was the first time I was actually like, you know, like I'm gonna take the I'm gonna let somebody else handle this for a few days,
and everything was okay.
Everything was fine. You know what I mean? It's just my own craziness.
The facility didn't burn down.
No. Dude, you know
I didn't even know you were gone.
Like, oh, you were away? Cool.
Yeah. So but it's that addict brain. Yeah. You know,
it's fear.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Yeah.
Is somebody else going to come in here and do it just like me or better than me, and they're not going to need me anymore too.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some, for me, it's like imposter syndrome too. Like, a lot of times I'm like, did I even, like, they're going to figure it out that I don't, but it's like, no. But then I got to check myself, like, no, wait, I did work hard. You know what I mean? I have been through some shit. Like, I've been through some real shit. You know what I mean? And come out. And a lot of guys don't come out the other side of what we've been through. And that's the issue, right? That's what makes us, I think, worth it, you know? Is like, or worth the, whatever the paycheck or whatever the case may be, is like that when we come out the other side of it and we actually give back and give them and actually have a message to carry, you know, that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Because the life stresses, life stresses are going to hit this. I mean, there's not a, maybe I'm not right with this comment, but there's not a whole lot of people that work 8 to 4 that are super, super successful, right? You gotta work, you know? So it's, you're going to have to put in some extra hours to get where you want to be in order to maybe kick back a little bit and have 2-week vacations away and not have to deal with the phone as much.
Or a lot of people that put themselves so far behind the 8 ball like we did. You know what I mean? Like, you can't get it. You can't fuck your life up like we did. You know, I'll speak like I did for so long and then expect to just coast up to the top. No. You know what I mean? No. Like, that's not going to happen.
I had to work really hard to be the drug addict that I was.
Fucking A.
There's no reason I don't have to work just as hard to be.
Right. I work really hard to dig down. I got to work to climb back up.
100%.
And you know, it's now that I say that, and those are the people, I see those people in the meetings too, that they just coasted back up. And they may be, but like, I don't want that. I don't want to go to 4 meetings a day. And you know what I mean? AA or NA is my only life. Like, are my closest friends in the program? Yeah, for sure. But like, we do shit that is not recovery related. Which I hesitate to say recovery related because I think everything is almost, you know, like even the fun stuff is recovery related. But
at this point,
but I don't want to drive. Like, that's another thing. I don't want to worry if my car is gonna make it to the meeting. You know what I mean? That's, you know, like that's not the life I want to live, you know? And so I'm not, you know, I'll never settle for like that little, like, that's the other thing. And I think that's okay.
Absolutely.
One of the kids that was kind of instrumental in pushing me to get my life together. He said something to me a long time ago. He's like, dude, you need the program to live. You don't have to live for the program. You know, and I was like, damn, you're right. You know, like my recovery today looks way different than it did 12 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, it's simple. Everything in life, right? Like, I like simple. I stopped being a scumbag. My life got better. Yeah. Right? I stopped being a scumbag and like people around me like wanted me around again. And then I just simplified my life. It's like I go to a meeting, 1 meeting a week, if that, you know, here and there. I stay in contact with a sponsor. I do some step work and I am completely transparent with people. Yeah. I'm just very honest, you know. It's real simple for me.
I know.
So simple.
You know, it's funny how people try and complicate it or make it seem like it's this tough thing. It's like I'll go into meeting, especially up upstate New York, because everyone's a little more miserable up there. But they they share and they make it seem like it's so hard. And I'm like, what message are you giving? Yeah.
Like, not a good one up there.
And so I gotta share. And then sometimes I'm like, check your ego, motherfucker, because I do have one. And I'm like, but I want to just blast them, you know? And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna speak for myself. Like, my life is really fucking good. Yeah. It ain't that fucking hard. And even the hard things, I'm able to get through. Because I have a program. Like, I'm not like struggling to figure it out anymore.
It's because you apply it in your life, though. Right. Some people like that. It's the understanding and application.
Yeah, 20 years and you're miserable? Like, get the fuck out of here. I want to be the 6th one. I'll take that.
Whatever you're doing, you can keep that.
Yeah, give me the 90-day guy who's on fire. I'll take that.
No, I was always so scared, bro, being 30 years sober, sitting in the fucking AA meeting in the front row every day, like, you know, bitching about somebody saying drugs. Or like, that's not what this is, bro. My father said it to me, too, like, because he went to some meetings, experienced some stuff. He's like, so you're not supposed to be addicted to drugs anymore, but now you're supposed to be addicted to coffee in a room full of old men. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, that doesn't make any fucking sense to me. That like, in order for you to stay alive, you have to go there every day. It's the same thing as fucking being high, just no money, you know? Same thing as chasing a drug. You're chasing these old men. He was like, it has to become like you said, you know, you got to apply it and understand it, you know? And if you don't, you're going to be in that room for the rest of your life. You know, AA for me was like, take what I need, leave the rest, and then keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? And apply those things in my life on a daily basis. But I don't think that message of like, you got to be in a meeting every day for the rest of your life. Like, I don't think that helps people. No. You know, I feel like that really pushes people away from what we have. They don't realize like you could go in there, get sober, and still be like us. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't gotta be like them, sitting in the front row, 30 years. You know, oh, on page, you know, this they say don't talk about drugs. No, on page 14 they talk about sedatives. You know, to really understand it and be able to apply it into your life and then keep it moving is the important thing. I think. You know,
find your people, go towards them, and find what makes you happy and do that shit.
That's it.
It's really it.
Like for instance, wait, aren't you down here to see boys from the program? Yeah. Like that, like nothing to do with the program. You know what I mean? Like you're in South Florida right now. It's cold up in fucking Boston. Like that's you're not gonna find that in the book. That's just like the life, right? Like
the lessons.
Yeah.
It's what's promised to us. You wanna come down? Yeah, cool. I'll be down Thursday.
Yeah.
You know, simple.
Yeah.
You can get to do that shit. You know, it's crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah, not worrying about, you know, getting some stuff to keep you alive, right? For 3 days, bro.
Yeah, I remember the first trip I ever took. I went to California in 2004. I went to San Diego for 4th of July. And I spent more time in Tijuana trying to get high than I did actually enjoying California.
That's crazy.
I'm like, this is fucking crazy. Yeah. Like, I flew across country to enjoy the most beautiful beaches, and I saw Tijuana the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong?
Dirty hood in Tijuana.
Yeah. you brought up Puerto Rico. I went to Puerto Rico before I got clean, and I was with my wife and another couple, and I was... running out of Suboxone, and I was like cutting my strips up and trying to like make my strips work, and like starting to feel, you know, just like sleeping half the time. Yeah, fucking miserable, bro. And I was on a little island off of Puerto Rico called Culebra.
It's the most beautiful place in the world.
Bro, you could see the Virgin Islands from there, bro. Like the water, it was one of the best. I forget the name of the beach, but anyway. Yeah, bro.
Flamingo Beach?
Flamingo Beach. Yeah, we've talked. I've talked. Yeah, when you went there, and I remember like I had a nice Airbnb like up on the thing, and I'm cutting Suboxone strips without them knowing. You know what I mean? Trying to make sure that my shit lasts.
Yeah, fucking paradise.
You know, and not wanting to sweat too much because it's gonna take it. You know, just fuck that, bro.
I can't go outside. My Suboxone's coming out of my sweat.
Yeah, you know, like I don't want to walk that mile, bro. It's gonna like I'm gonna push the Suboxone out.
Oh my god, it's so
it goes right back to everything. That's how powerful this is.
Yeah, bro.
Like, oh, you'll be fine. It tells you, like, you'll be fine when you get there.
Nah. And then you do everything the first day.
Instant panic as soon as my feet hit.
Like, I gotta, and then just wanting to get back to your life that you just tried to fucking escape.
Run from.
Can't wait to get back.
What is going on?
Can you leave something in my mailbox? It's crazy.
First time I went to treatment, I was still in the Marine Corps. No one, you know, again, I self-disclosed. They sent me to treatment. I spent 30 days in treatment. My daughter was 3 months old. First call I made when I knew what day I was getting out was to my drug. And I said, yo, my wife's out of town. Can you just slip it in my mailbox? 2 blues so I can travel up to get my wife and daughter to bring them back.
I did the same thing when I got out of jail. I remember they drop us off at the train station when you get out, right? You get out, drop us at the train station, and I had like the Barbaca specials on. And I didn't have a phone. I had no phone, but I was collecting unemployment while I was locked up. So I knew I had money in the bank. And I was like, I asked some dude on the train, I'm like, hey, can I use your phone? And he was like, no. I was like, please, like, I want to call my family. I want to let them know, like, I'm all right. He's like, all right, I'll let you do it. Like, first call, bank, is the money there? Yep. Next call, drug dealer. I'm gonna be in Boston in 20 minutes. Where you at? You know what I mean? Yeah. Crazy. That was as clean as I had ever been at that point. You know what I mean?
And that's the obsession, right? That's the obsession part of this, because, and especially for us opiate people, like, we always say we don't want to get dope sick. We don't want to dope. And granted, don't want to go through dope sickness. Don't want to. But how many times do we go through that and then go back and use? So it's like,
well, he just kicked in jail.
Kicked in jail.
The worst fucking detox you could ever have. And the first 2 phone calls you made was to get high.
They threw me in the hole 6 days in because I was pissing too clean. Because all I had was water. My creatinine levels were too high. They're like, to the hole you go. I'm like, this is crazy. I hadn't used nothing since I got here. I swear to God. Like, I wasn't flushing. I was thirsty.
Yeah. Right.
It's crazy, bro.
I'm detoxing.
Crazy.
Well, detoxing in jail sucks too, because you got to shit yourself through the screen, and then everyone's mad at you because you're shitting on fucking food. That's the worst. Like,
I was lucky.
The guy's passed out by the fucking toilet.
There's no safety flushes for that one, bro.
I had this OG Sally. He was the best. He had just did 15 years in Oklahoma State Prison for manufacturing meth in Oklahoma. He came back home to Mass, and his buddy was like driving around, and his buddy like threw up on the side of the road, and the cops ran their name. And he had a warrant from 15 years ago, so they locked him up for a year in Mass. Old school was the man, so he gave me, he was like,
was he actually trying to do the right thing?
Yeah, he was mad cool. He was super cool.
Well, thank God.
But he was telling me, like, I was talking to him, and I remember having conversations with him, like, I'm not going to use when I get out. Like the whole time. I'm like, nah, like I'm gonna do the right thing when I get out of here. Like I was going to AA meetings, NA meetings in there. I was doing all that shit. I'm not gonna use. And he said it like 3 days. He's like, you're getting high as soon as you get out of here. I knew. See it in your face. I'm like, no, not a chance. As soon as I got fresh air, it's like, gotta get high.
Session hits you, bro.
It's time to celebrate. And then as soon as I got high, I got a call. My cousin had overdosed, and my cousin, we pulled the plug like 3 days later. You know what I mean? So it was like, as soon as I got high, I at his funeral high. No fucks given. The family being like, dude, that's you. Like, you're next. Like, no, not me.
Never me.
Never gonna happen to me.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Like, if we get high now, we're dead because we don't know what we're doing.
No, because fentanyl wasn't around when I
it wasn't around when I got it was at the 7. I got sober in 1918, really, and I had a 3-month run. But so 17, it was just starting to come around, and I couldn't stay fucking alive.
But that was the 2 bag thing, right? It was 1 or 2 for you.
Pills, everything. We'd be dead. I don't know what I'm doing.
Crazy.
The one thing I always knew is that if maybe it was gonna get me like if it was dying or not gonna feel it, I'm going with dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you tell me that's cut with fentanyl, well, I got to make sure I do enough. You know what I mean? Like I can't do it. Boom, done. Yeah,
it's insane, bro. Because when I was getting high, there was no fentanyl. I mean, I realized that there was, like, my last couple months. Yeah, it came out like, you had stamps, right? Fetty Wap stamp, right? And it was white and it tasted different. And I just thought it was whatever the cut was. And then 7 to 8 years later, I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, no, I never did fentanyl. and he's talking whatever, and his fucking thing goes off my head. I'm like, nah, I think I did. I'm like, oh, yeah, I was super, yeah, that was fentanyl. It was only like once or twice, you know, me and Alex talk about it. There would be like pushes that came through Philly, you know, like when he was getting high. That was like almost 20 years ago, 16 years ago or something. But we had real drugs. Like we were fortunate, you know, as fucked up as it sounds, we were very fortunate to get high when we did, you know, or else we'd be dead, like he said.
How is anyone surviving like Mass Ave now?
I don't know.
So Mass Ave, you know, and
it's Kensington of
it's the Kensington but you know, Boston, and I got you know, Franny. I'm still trying to find them. You know, he's still alive.
He's out there.
Blows my fucking mind. Yeah, he knows him too. He's kind of a legend out there at this point. But like how are people still surviving? Like there, like what are they doing?
I think it's the overdoses, right?
They cleaned it, so they cleaned it up a little bit, right? It did get cleaned up a little bit, right? Cleaned up. Right. And, but I think down there, there's a lot of resources down there, right? There's, you have like A-Hope, you have stuff like that down there where people can go and like get your drugs tested. You can do all that stuff if they want to. They go down there, they hand out Narcan, they hand out blankets. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on down there to try and help people that, you know, don't necessarily want the help. You know?
Sucks though, because like, I mean, for me, I'd have rather been dead instead of keep coming back. Like, God, what a brutal life that is.
Which is wild too, that like fentanyl isn't killing people now. You know, like people have built a tolerance to it where they're shooting fentanyl. Like, you know, like,
we're dead.
You're dead, done, bro. We touch that shit, you're dead, bro.
But
you know,
when you see someone, which is there's a couple of people, when you see someone who ran the Ave for a very, very long time, probably similar to like Kennedy, like when you see someone run the Ave for a long time and then get it. Like it's a great feeling seeing anybody get it, but when you see someone down there 12, 15 years just running the Ave and all of a sudden like, I'm done, you know, and like watch them.
And they instantly become powerhouses in this world, bro. You know what I mean? They are the fucking,
the level, like there's the level of gratitude and the fact that they made it out is
it's fucking, man, I
shit.
Yeah, that fentanyl, bro, like, dude, I remember, like, there was a couple times that I remember, like, that's the thing I don't understand. Now, like, you know you're doing fentanyl. It's not even fun. Like, I'll be honest, right? Like, dude, way back in the beginning, snorting a nice blue felt fucking awesome. But, like, fentanyl now, just like, and you're like, fucking out. Like, there's no, and they even tell me, like, the kids tell me now, like, it has no legs. It doesn't last. It's like, it's just fucking knocking you the fuck out. It's like,
dead
it doesn't even sound like the fucking drugs that I was using, like, at the beginning. Like,
bro, we used to be able to do $500 worth of heroin and be fucking fine, bro. I'm nodding, but I'm fucking fine,
you
bro.
give me a couple of OC80s and I'm conquering the world.
Right.
Like,
Solve the
enough 80s a day and I was getting everything done, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Your job, everybody's job.
Cleanest house in the fucking neighborhood, bro.
Yeah. Dead giveaway.
Yeah.
I used to walk in, the house would be spotless, and I would walk in with Chips Ahoy, double stuffed Oreos, and a gallon of milk, and they'd be like, "You're hot." You're right.
I had Fruity Pebbles with that, though.
Mine was Yoo-Hoo, bro. You call me with a Yoo-Hoo, I was high, bro. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
So now you got, what are you doing now? And then we'll get out of here.
Just opened up an outpatient program in Acton, Mass called Engage Wellness. You know, a few of my buddies wanted to get something going in Mass. They asked me to help them do it, so here I am helping them do it, and it's been awesome.
But you're fucking just like you always been, right? Grinding, doing groups, fucking. When I went up there, he had to go home. He had to get out of there to go do a group. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We started, even though we have even IOP, I was running some even IOP groups, so just all hands on deck.
Yeah.
You know, got a rock star staff we put
Getting
together.
It going,
Yeah, you know, it's just whatever it takes.
How long have you guys been open?
2 months tomorrow.
Nice. Congratulations.
2 months, thank you. Yeah, it's been good.
How many beds you guys have?
No beds. It's just outpatient, strictly outpatient.
Okay, so it's all sober living.
Yeah.
Got it.
If they need sober living, we reach out to some sober living in the area.
Cool.
Help them get set up.
Real IOP.
Yeah.
Because most of the time it's IOP with housing, and then you know what comes with that. You know, so to have like a real traditional outpatient program for working people, and that's cool.
That's what we're shooting for.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
That's really cool. Really union guys, stuff like that. Yeah.
People that are going back to work.
Just start taking TRICARE, right?
Yeah, start taking TRICARE East Select right now, working on the rest of it. But we can take TRICARE East Select. We JCO accredited already.
Nice.
So it's going good. It's nice. It's small, intimate. You know, it's just, I come from the first place I worked for in New Hampshire was a very small, intimate program. good quality client care at the end of the day.
Trying to mimic it.
Yeah, that's it. Try to mimic it. It works. We saw it work. Why not do it again?
Yeah.
Why not do it again?
That's dope.
People that want to be there.
Yeah.
You want to get better? Come through.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm proud of you, bro. I look up to you, as I tell you all the time.
It's been a blessing watching you grow, brother.
Yeah, man. Let's keep rocking, bro.
That's it, buddy.
Keep coming.
All right.
Thanks for coming, bro.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Knock it out.
All right, guys. Like I always say, like, follow, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Just press that button. It helps us out. And, you know, like I tell you every week, please comment. We want to know how you feel, what you think, and what you want us to talk about. You know, let us know. But next week, we got another good one for you. I'm looking forward to it. And with that, we're out.
I got
my man.
Appreciate you guys.
What's next
Every time I do these outros, bro, Johnny's like, all right, it's enough. Let's go. We're leaving.
He keeps going. I'm like, fuck. Can we leave? It's like my mom saying bye to my daughter.
Exactly.